Hello and welcome to Prime Business. Coming up, Bank of Ghana hints of exercise to close down forex bureaus not complying with foreign exchange law.
We are after all the recalcitrant ones. Of course, we cannot say that all bureau operators are doing something wrong, but the ones who are not doing good business, we will flush them out and will not hesitate at all to flush these people out of the system.
Also, one mining firm advances $6 million to the Bank of Ghana even before foreign exchange sale framework is finalized with the regulator.
The reality is that mining companies bring back to the country so much USD, forex, by way of the revenues that they generate. And these monies actually go to support their operations, pay salaries, pay for various inputs, whether it is diesel.
Plus, the Bank of Ghana finances 78% of government expenditure in the first half of this year. We'll hear from US-based professor who wants a cap on government borrowing from the central bank. My name is Beverly Broom. Please stay for details. Hello and welcome now to the details of our stories. The Bank of Ghana has revealed that it will soon embark on an exercise to close down licensed forex bureaus that are not complying with the foreign exchange laws. Officials of the bank disclosed this to Joy Business after embarking on some field exercise to check the level of compliance with some forex bureaus in Accra. James Ishen has the rest of the story.
The Bank of Ghana said this is one of the measures to control the sharp depreciation of the cedi. They maintain that forex bureaus across the country should desist from determining forward rate. Speaking to Joy Business, Head of Financial Stability at the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Joseph France, noted that investigations are currently ongoing on some forex bureaus in the country not complying with the forex exchange laws.
As far as we are concerned, we picked evidence that they sell and they don't they don't give receipts. They also don't identify the people. They don't pick their identification, and they also will not. And even if they want to, they can just offer. They have stock of identity cards, and they use that to trade. You know, so in other words, they haven't identified anybody, and this has been confirmed out of the mystery shopping that we did. And so, yes, we are telling the public and, of course, the bureau operators.
Speaking on the way forward, Mr. France explained that the bank won't hesitate to flush them out of the system when found culpable.
We are after all the recalcitrant ones. Of course, we cannot say that all bureau operators are doing something wrong, but the ones who are not doing good business, we will flush them out and will not hesitate at all to flush these people out of the system. Of course, before you close down, you want to gather evidence, and that is what we are gathering. Once we gather enough evidence, which we have, we will not hesitate at all to. So the investigation has started. We will continue with the investigation from here. Then we'll gather all the evidence that we need, and if it warrants closing them down or suspending their license, why not? We will not hesitate to do that.
The Bank of Ghana officials disclosed that the committee is poised to bring some sanity in the forex market across the country.
Now, one mining firm in the country has already sold $6 million to the Bank of Ghana. Another $14 million will be sold soon, even before the industry framework is finalized. The Ghana Chamber of Mines is currently studying Bank of Ghana's proposal to purchase 80% of foreign exchange revenue to boost its dollar reserves. There are fears that this move could face some setbacks, but speaking on PM Express Business Edition, Suleiman Ukoni said the chamber is committed to the program.
The reality is that mining companies bring back to the country so much USD, forex, by way of the revenues that they generate. And these monies actually go to support their operations, pay salaries, pay for various inputs, whether it is diesel, whether it is power, and various consumables. So already a lot of it actually comes back. On average, you're talking about 75%. Last year, for example, we did in excess of 80% coming back to the country.
80% of what? Sorry,
of revenue.
Of your revenue?
Of mineral revenue, exactly.
The entire industry?
So, yes.
Okay.
Yes. And you would ask yourself, so what has changed? What has changed in the last few years is this recent drive to push hard on local value add, local procurement, and so on and so forth. So even as you have local entrepreneurs being in a position to supply the kinds of goods and services that the mining industry needs, indirectly it actually affects the forex flow as well, because then companies are compelled to actually bring the forex here to support their operations. So it's a good thing that we continue to push the envelope on local content, local procurement. The watchword, though, is to make sure that these are fit for purpose and they actually they are in a position to help the industry to actually thrive.
Mr. Kony, just not to box you down to the exact numbers, you talked about bringing in 85% of revenue. That is how much are we looking at here? I mean, not the exact numbers, but even the round figure, please, for last year or even 2021 or 2020.
Last year, our revenue was about 8 billion. No, about 5 billion, sorry.
5 billion.
Last year, our revenue was about 5 billion. And we are talking about an average about 75%. Last year, the return was about 80%. But I'm talking about an average over last 5 years or so, which comes to about 75%.
Did you say 7 or 8 billion? I stand to be corrected, please.
No, it's about 5 billion.
About 78% of the 28 billion cedis financing need of government in the first half of this year came from the Bank of Ghana. That's according to US-based Associate Professor at Niagara University, Dr. Dennis Nsafwa. In the process, he said the country lost about $2 billion of its international reserve, a situation exposing the city to currency speculators.
The Bank of Ghana is not increasing money supply. The process they are doing is technically called sterilization. So they are selling the USD reserves the whole, using the cedi equivalent to buy back the government bonds. So in that way, they are able to actually cushion the government's financial needs. And I must actually point out that, give me a second, I must actually point out that Ghana's problem for the first half of the year has largely been financing and fiscal problems. And the Bank of Ghana has been the solution. All right. In as much as we want to talk about the Bank of Ghana, we actually have to commend them that Ghana has been able to survive the first half of the year because of their innovative ways of finding means to finance the government.
Well, congratulations to them. But just like you point out, it's also exposing our currency to speculators. Now, you're asking for a cap when it comes to financing from the Bank of Ghana to the government. How feasible is this? How realistic is this?
It's all about political will to do it. The Bank of Ghana, in their recent report, said they are actually going to speak to the finance ministry to put a cap on the overdraft. This is essential. They have to do it because they can't sustain what they did in the first half of the year. They may run out of reserves entirely if they try to replicate the model they used in the first half of the year to finance the budget. The government has to find a way not to create deficits. Now, the problem in Ghana is we don't have means to finance our deficit. The government has lost access to international markets, and then the domestic market is also really constrained. So the government do not have means to finance the budget or to finance their deficit. If you're a government and you don't have means to finance your deficit, the only option available to you is don't create deficit.
Now, Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owusu Efriakoto, has charged the newly constituted board of the Trifo Oil Palm Plantation to put up necessary measures to revive the company. He tasked the board to work to attract investors and add value to raw materials before they are exported. Here's more from the inauguration of the board.
The Chifu Oil Palm Plantation Limited was registered as a limited liability company in 1977. TOP has 4,234 hectares of nucleus oil palm plantation. The company provides extension services to 1,894 smallholder plantation and 3,300 outgrower projects. According to the Food and Agriculture Minister, Dr. Efriya Koto, this is part of government's attempt to prevent food insecurity in Ghana.
The Ghanaian farmer has demonstrated their commitment to come along with us in this new development. We are very hopeful that it will work, and Chifu Oil Palm Plantation is very much part of that scheme of things, that you are in the second module of Planting for Food and Jobs, which is to do with the diversification of Ghana's export agriculture. So I want to put your brief into context. Fortunately, you have a big brother, Unilever, with you, who will be able to take your produce to the Tema factories to produce all kinds of products for this economy and the ECOWAS economy and beyond that. So you have a responsibility to ensure that this company grows. I know that they had outgrowers programs, including in Nana's own town, where farmers have been supplied with seedlings, with extension services so that production can grow.
Board Chairman George Odro said the board will work to bring to life the company.
Turn around of TOP and make it a profitable entity. We promise to do our best in order to justify the confidence reposed in us as a board. Once again, I would like to, on behalf of my colleagues, board members, to express our sincere gratitude for you to give us this opportunity to serve our mother Ghana.
TOP buys about 50% of its fresh fruit bunches from 1,241 farmers.
Now, the second phase of the construction of the Tema motorway runabout flyover is set to commence in September this year. According to the Japan International Cooperation Agency, the $27 million project is to complement that of the Eastern Corridor. Speaking to Joy Business Program Specialist in charge of infrastructure at the Japan International Cooperation Agency, Prince Bill, said the project is expected to be completed in December 2025.
The project is to improve the Tema motorway runabout ancillary facilities and the north-south direction. According to Mr. Bill, plans are far advanced with partners to get the project done.
So this project was in support of the national transport policy of the government of Ghana, and it dealt with aspects of the international corridors, in Ghana. So, as I explained, this interchange is on the Trans-ECOWAS highway linking Lagos to Abidjan. After completion of the phase 1, we intend to do a phase 2, which will be a flyover that will link the port, the Tema port, to the Akosombo Road, and it's expected to ease traffic on that stretch. Again, we thought that safety was important, so we had to put pedestrian bridges on all the 4 legs of the interchange. As I mentioned, you have the Akosombo Road, and then you also have the Harbour Road, you have the Aflao stretch, and then the Accra stretch. And on all 4 legs of them, we decided to put a pedestrian bridge for safe crossing.
Speaking to a section of the media, senior representative at the Japan International Cooperation Agency, Oda Rotaro, said as part of this year's Tokyo International Conference on African Development to be held in Tunisia, the Japanese government aimed at supporting startups and green businesses.
Especially, it should be easier for you to grasp the concrete idea of our cooperation approaches, which are people-centered, ensuring ownership, and also the effective use of Japanese experience, knowledge, and technologies. And considering the situation that we experienced, the pandemic and the Ukraine crisis, I believe that the ticket aid will be a great chance. Yeah, because we all now know that how important the resilience is. Yeah.
The Japan International Cooperation Agency has over the years built a resilient and a sustainable society, promoting efforts in the field including measures against the COVID-19 and supporting education.
Now from Tema, let's take you to the Ashanti region where students in some senior high schools are being trained under a competitive scheme to harness their entrepreneurial potentials for job creation. The NIMDIA project aims at helping students proffer entrepreneurial solutions to existing societal problems while helping reduce the rate of unemployment in the country. Nana Aljima was at the final pitch for selected students of the competition and filed this report.
Kumasi High School, KNUST SHS, Kwesi Upon Senior High and Ejosoman SHS were able to make the finals of the contest after qualifying from the various districts. Each of the schools came up with ideas aimed at solving societal issues and creating jobs. The Good Brothers of Kumasi High School emerged tops with their Gari Mix product. The Gari Mix is a mixture of gari, sugar and milk flavored with either coconut, ground nuts or tiger nuts. Member of the group, Sheikh Ali, explains the economic benefits of the Gari Mix.
As for the production cost, with the 20 grams, the production cost is 2 cedis 50 pesos. As a student, we all know how the economy is going. And our product mainly is meant for students. So the profit margin is not high like that. That's why it doesn't cost much. As for the 20 grams, the production cost is 2 cedis 50 pesos. The 200 grams, production cost is 18 Ghana cedis. That's 18 cedis. And for the 400 too, that's the one 30 cedis too, is 25 Ghana cedis production cost.
So it's better than, if you buy Gari Mix, it's better than buying separate ingredients and putting it together.
Yeah, it's better than that. Because Gari Mix, and you get the needed protein and what, the nutrients in it.
Products from other competing schools will also be nurtured to be made profitable. The NIMDIA project by Kumasi Hive is aimed at building students in second cycle institutions to become entrepreneurs. Bernardine Garbin is project director.
So after the competition yesterday, they are going to be under 1 month mentorship so as to enlighten them more on how the money given to them is supposed to be used. Where I want to see them is to expand the business that they brought up through this trading and also employ others for it to grow, to employ others to help them also not to stay unemployed.
Meanwhile, sponsors of the project, the U.S. Embassy, have reiterated preparedness to partner various organizations to improve sectors of the economy. Virginia Elliott is Public Affairs Counselor.
So the U.S. Embassy continues to seek out Ghanaian partners who share our values. In fact, the United States and Ghana share a number of values: democratic principles, economic growth, protection of human rights. These are all common values between the United States and Ghana. And so we're eager to continue to seek out partners and shape and invest in the next generation of Ghanaian leaders.
Still in the Ashanti region, poverty-stricken youth in some selected rural communities in the Ashanti region will be resourced to become economically viable and independent. Some say negative peer influence and economic hardship have resulted in uninformed choices, unemployment and underemployment. Students who failed to continue formal education will be targeted. This is an initiative by Compassion International Ghana to train and imbibe vocational and entrepreneurial skills in students. There is more in the following report.
14-year-old Ansu Jiabo Echama makes dresses, beads and strapped sandals. Income generated from the artifacts is used in supporting her education. Coming from a rural community, there is little funds to support Echama's education. But an intervention by Compassion International has helped children below and above Echama's age to be trained to acquire vocational skills. The non-governmental organization has partnered churches to set up centers to address challenges faced by the youth. Reverend John Gagnon is pastor at the Global Evangelical Church, which manages the Emmanuel Child and Youth Development Center. He says people will be equipped with technical and professional skills needed for socio-economic and industrial development.
Because the children, as they are training them in dressmaking, at least we have about 15 of them with 10 sewing machines. They are learning. Now they're able to sew a few dresses on their own. There are some also learning how to barb hair. And I think with this, they are getting a trade when they grow up.
Resources have been allocated to partnered churches for the implementation of the program. Monitoring and evaluation mechanisms have been set up to track measurable outcomes. Rosemond Ahen is project coordinator at Bishop Speaks AME Church.
Some parents think that once we have decided to take care of them, they have to take up every cost. So the basic things that they have to provide for them in the house, they have to tell them to come to us for it. So you'll be in the office, then just about sometimes it will cost just 5 or 10 cents. The child will come to requesting for it because the mom says she can't afford. They think we would give it to them, so they are reluctant to provide it for the beneficiaries.
Mona Lisa Frimpong reporting.
Time now for your stock market update with Head of Trading at Republic Securities, Patrick Agama.
The stock market recorded activities in 19 equities and 1 exchange-traded fund, which dominated trade volumes this week. Total volumes, however, decreased significantly by 82%, with values traded rising significantly by 186% to 42.2 million Ghana cedis. The market lost grounds as 4 losers dragged the composite index to close the week at a year-to-date loss of 9.19%. The financial stock index also fell on the back of GCB, ETI, and EcoBank Ghana to close at a year-to-date of negative 5.41%. Access Bank led gainers this week, inching up by 10% to close at 3.3 Ghana cedis per share, whilst Bob gained 34 pesos to close at 6.34 Ghana cedis per share. GCB led the losers, dropping by 18.84% in value to close at 4 Ghana cedis and 5 pesos. Whilst EcoBank Ghana, Total and ETI also lost some pesos to close the week.
And that's all for business on Joy News Prime. For more business stories, do log on to myjoyonline.com. We leave you with news making headlines on the international front. My name is Beverly Broom. Have a good evening.